Drum roll.
Here we are.
Here we are. My goodness, guys. The fucking energy is ballistic today. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling charged up. Welcome back to the 7 on 7 podcast, guys. Episode 35 today. I told you we would be back. Quick turnaround since the last episode. Man, I'm so excited. We finally made this episode happen. We've been talking about it for like at least a month and a half. At least a month and a half. We're here. I sent him the chariot from LA. Ubered his ass here because I wanted to get him on the show.
It's that occasion.
It is that occasion, but episode 35 with the dude fucking Aidan Andrews today on the potty.
Here we go. First podcast, baby.
Is it really?
In advance. Yeah.
Is it really your first pod?
Of course, dude. Who's going to have me on their podcast?
I feel like you would be a great podcast guest.
We'll see. This is good practice.
Dude, honestly, and the main reason kind of why I wanted to have you on was obviously I love what you do and I think it's interesting, and obviously it's just you kill it at what you do. But it was the night that we met at No Service in LA, and when Jake was playing, and dude, honestly, if you're a dude right now, you'll understand what I'm saying. Like, there's just some times where you're like in a crowd or just vibing, and you like see another homie. Yeah, it's the eye contact, and you're just like, I don't know you, but I fuck with you so heavy.
It's the same energy of like when your teacher says pair up, and you just like look to your boy across the room, but you don't even know him yet.
Yeah,
it's just like the same energy, bro.
It is. It's the same energy, dude.
Yeah, we tapped in immediately.
Literally, it was absolutely fucking hilarious, and I was like, dude, I gotta connect with this dude. We gotta keep him around. This dude has great energy.
Dude,
he's fucking killing it,
dude. And also anyone else that does what we do that I immediately get along with, that's a relationship I need to keep going.
For sure.
Because accidentally, I feel like half the time, all of my friends do what we do in some way.
Yeah, honestly, that's so
how
true.
I would want it. It's hard to like. Once you're in that zone, it's hard to hang out with people who aren't creating things.
Facts.
Which is like not to sound like I feel like it's such a douchey thing to say.
But it's not.
Creating anything on any level, especially like being in LA, it's so cool. Like I say all the time, I got out of moving to Los Angeles what I thought I was gonna get out of college, which was just like being around like-minded people. And because I was always the kid that like made videos. And, like none of my boys were doing that. I was always just taking videos of my boys, like playing sports, doing whatever. But you move to LA or even a place like OC and everyone's creating something, whether it's like videos, music,
clothes,
styling, modeling, doing anything.
100%.
And it's just so cool. Like that's my type of people. Maybe not LA, but people who create things are my type of people.
I got strong feelings about LA too. Don't worry,
bro. I don't have strong feelings yet. I'm using it for what I have to for the time being, but I hope I don't have to stay there forever.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm an East Coast boy, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I
was going to say,
boy.
you were saying you're from Boston, Mass.
I'm from Cape Cod, which
Shit.
is like an hour outside of Boston.
Celtics, baby. Banner number 18 on the rafters.
All day.
On the rafters.
I wish Jason Tatum would have said something original, though. That killed me. I love JT and I love Deuce, but he pulled the friggin' KG and said, anything is possible.
We did it.
And then he did the Steph Curry
We
thing
did
too.
it.
Yeah, dude. It was like, come on. I'm not gonna hate on it, but that was the most boring series I've ever watched.
Yeah, it was. It was so honestly.
We'll take it.
Because I got super into basketball this year. I got super big into basketball this year, and I got super big into hockey last season. I've been super big into hockey. And
hard year to be a Bruins fan.
Yeah, very hard year to be a Bruins fan. And honestly, I feel like it was such a shitty year to be a Maple Leafs fan.
I'm glad I'm not from Canada.
Yeah, I have a couple homies from Canada, and they were just like,
what are you going to do sometimes?
Yeah, no, literally, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
As a kid who grew up in New England in the 2000s, I can't complain about any sports thing ever again.
Dude, because genuinely, Boston, in that whole area, Massachusetts area, has...
Yeah, the whole Massachusetts.
The whole Mass area has to be the number one sports city in the world.
Oh, it is.
Has to be. Between the Patriots, the Bruins, and the Celtics,
and the Red Sox.
And the Red Sox. Red Sox and like they had a good run for like 20 years.
The championship series, baby.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like
we're the city of champions.
Undoubtedly, I will give you those flowers.
You want to know a fun fact? Area code of Boston 617. Yesterday was June 17th.
And they won the champion. Yeah, it was the 20th anniversary.
Perfect storm.
Wasn't it the 16-year anniversary of last time they won the chip in 2008 with Ray Allen and all those guys?
I'm not sure.
I think it was. I think it was on the anniversary that they won the last championship, Game 5, exactly what
Perfect
16
storm.
years ago, whatever
Perfect
it was.
storm.
It was. It was
Although,
a perfect storm.
The unfortunate thing, I don't want to take any credit away from my boys. But I do feel like this year will be looked at in the same way that the bubble was looked at.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, they did win in 2024. I forgot.
Yeah. That's how I feel about the 2019 Milwaukee Bucks championship.
Yeah. I only
I don't
that 'cause
ever
Drew
I don't like
Holiday's on the Celtics.
Yeah. Like, I swear, I don't ever remember the Bucks winning the ship.
I don't
But
remember
they
anything
did.
about Giannis since then either. So
Yeah. Ooh. Shots fired. Love it. Dude,
Sorry, buddy.
but so first fucking thing for everybody who's listening to the show, watching on YouTube, give a little kind of a
We're on YouTube too.
come on.
Expected.
We
You're right.
we do it. We try to do it all. We
do.
try to do it all. But for the people who are new to you or who are listening, kind of give a little synopsis, whatever the fuck you want to call it, introduction of kind of who you are, what you do, where you come from.
Right on.
Yeah, just kind of a little. Hey, this is me.
What's up, guys? My name is Aidan. My favorite color is blue.
Love it.
I'm just kidding. Actually, I'm not kidding. It is blue.
Hello, this is Buddy the Elf. What's your favorite color?
I say that all the time. Francisco. But no, I'm from Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
Yup.
Grew up there. Not a bad place to grow up at all. It was unreal. Like summers are as summer as they can get there. It's beach town everywhere. But it's also like a really small town. So, but I grew up in middle school watching Jay Alvarez videos, dude. Like us all. I feel like everyone who has a camera in their hand saw a Jay Alvarez video once and was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, dude,
God, I wanna be Jay
dude, I'm
Alvarez.
still in the process of getting my skydive license. Like, it's hard, but like I was always just the kid watching videos of people doing shit in LA and California, and I think my subconscious slowly manifested that into something that I was never like, I need to move to LA, I need to go to California. But having a camera in my hands is something I've had for years. Like, I think my mom sent me to like an iMovie camp
Wow.
at the Apple store in like 6th grade.
Wow.
Yeah, me and my buddy.
Wow.
We had a like one of those. It looked. I think it started like K. It was a Kodak. That's what it was. Like, it was just a Kodak flip video camera. We would make like action videos all the time, like pretend to beat the shit out of each other and stuff. And that just manifested into me starting to like. And then the more the older I got, I was making like party videos. And then when I went to a year of prep school in Maine after high school to play lacrosse.
Oh, you played lacrosse?
Yeah,
I played lacrosse for a couple years.
Right on, dude. I love lacrosse.
It's so fun.
It's my favorite sport. But I want to play that in college. And then it was the classic story of once it becomes your job, it's no longer fun. And I also, a big part of why I went to this school was because they were like, you can snowboard every day in the winter. And I was like,
sign me up.
And then our lacrosse coach was like, you think we're going to let you snowboard? And I was like, I actually don't like lacrosse anymore. I want to go snowboard every day. But that was a all-boys school in Maine.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Exactly. So from there, I got kicked out also. I got expelled on April 1st. I thought it was a meme. It wasn't.
Really?
Yeah, you got 3 strikes. I had like 4. They were great. But I had like a month
They were
to
great.
go.
They were
I had a
great.
month to go. And then I remember the week I got home and was just like, I don't know what this means anymore. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm not going to play lacrosse. I'm not going to college. I got a scholarship letter from Coastal Carolina University, the mecca of Southern education.
Yep.
So bad.
Coastal
there.
Carolina, is that the Pirates?
No, they're the Chanticleers, the teal cocks. A Chanticleer is like a French crazy chicken.
Okay.
We have a teal painted chicken that comes out at football games. His name is Chauncey. Chance up, baby.
Chauncey the chicken.
Yeah.
The teal cocks.
Dude, I swear to God, like my high school didn't have a football team, and then I went to a prep school as all guys and in Maine, and I was like, I just needed warm weather, women, football, like good. I needed the college experience.
It's so valid.
Like I went to a charter high school. We didn't even have cafeteria, dude. I just needed the regular college experience. I was there for 2 years, and I would make like tailgate party videos all the time. That was really the only thing I filmed. And then COVID happened, and it was like March of my sophomore year. And I was like, well, I gave it the old college try.
Yeah.
I just dropped out.
Yeah.
Just removed myself from every class and was like, there's no way I'm going to do online school.
Yeah,
Like, that's
no
just,
way.
I was the kid that like never did my homework, but I had perfect attendance. which doesn't really make like the ADHD in me.
Because
like,
you want to go hang out and like.
Yeah, like I definitely love the social aspect of school, but I genuinely do love learning things. It's just like
In the manner that you learn it.
yeah.
I
If only my
I
parents
feel
could
you so heavy, bro. School was never made for me.
Yeah, it sucks because I love learning things that I want to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
but
obviously, like camera stuff, dude. Like music, video, anything editing like that. It's so easy for me to watch a YouTube video and pick it up or focus on something I genuinely am passionate about, as opposed to writing an essay or doing something like that. And I just was hanging out. I was bartending during COVID.
Fire.
But still, like, kind of just making videos for fun. The camera stuff has always been a hobby for me. Like, if you go down long enough on my Instagram, it's like videos from high school of just like GoPro stuff, jumping off bridges and playing lacrosse and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I came out to LA in 2021 for the first. My buddy flew me out here because he had an agency he was working on, and he asked if I wanted to be a part of it. Well, actually, he called me while I was working at a restaurant. I answered, and he said, "Do you want to drop everything and move to LA?" And I was like, "Yes."
Damn.
And he was like, "I didn't tell you what it's for yet." And I was like, "I don't care."
I'm on the way.
I don't care. But that was hilariously an OnlyFans agency. And so a lot of what I kind of assumed it was going to be doing, I was like, oh, okay, I'll be doing photo shoots and stuff. I wasn't. It was hilarious. We grinded for like 3 months just typing away. I'll tell you more about it off camera. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I came out to LA once in 2021 and then headed back home for like the holidays. And I don't know if anyone who's not from California can relate to this. I'm sure they can. But once you come out to Los Angeles one time and you see like
the lifestyle,
not just the lifestyle, but like the potential. And it's not like, I'm not one of those people that's like, wow, you come to Hollywood and you can make your dreams come true.
Yeah.
But like for me, it was like I met one kid with face tattoos driving a Lamborghini selling NFTs of ducks for like $400,000 that I was like, I'm supposed to go work at a restaurant after knowing this.
Yeah.
Like, not that I now know how to do whatever
sell
these
ducks,
guys
but
exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know how to sell ducks, for the record.
Yeah, me either.
I don't, that sounds like a whole different wheelhouse. But it was just like I couldn't go home and like I was having like such out of body experiences the whole time, just like doing the things I was regular doing, but like almost had FOMO for what I knew was happening. Like I said, like that you get to LA and you feel, I swear to God, there's like a frequency in the air, and I don't know if it's the smog and you're just like getting high off carbon monoxide. Yeah, but no, dude, I swear there's an energy like in the atmosphere when I'm there, and I don't even have to be in the city. Like I live right by LAX. Sometimes just going outside and you can like, it's like, I'm not a city boy. Maybe it's just the city thing in general, but you know that anywhere in Los Angeles someone is doing something, and it could be the next big thing, it could not be the next big thing.
Sure.
It could be something that you've never heard of and you are going to love.
Valid.
But I just think it's, unfortunately, because I don't love being in LA, it's the only place I would have any
chance.
Not necessarily chance, but it's the only place I have any business being right now.
Gotcha.
Like I just started working for this agency that's not based in Los Angeles, but LA being the home base for me to jump out to Vegas or San Diego for the weekend, that obviously makes it really, really easy.
Yeah, it's kind of a center point.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess I should say I skipped some parts. Anyway, this is really how I got into doing videos. Is when I came out here in 2021, I met a tattoo artist named Rave King, and he was like the only friend I made the whole time. He actually gave me this. I made a lot of him.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a fire piece right there.
Yeah,
though.
he did this in like half an hour before he hopped on a plane, and I was like, "You can slow down if you want." And he was like, "I don't need to." You trust the man.
Wow. No, it looks great. That line work is awesome.
He's insane. But I remember I literally hit him up. I was like, "Yo, you still have a Manscaped code, right? I needed a new Manscaper." And he was like, "I do." Sent me an 8-ball pool thing and was like, "If you win, He's like, "If you beat me, you can come." I don't know what it was. I think he said it was like, whether I beat him or he beats me, the premise was someone loses and I travel with him to make his videos. And he was a tattoo artist whose main clientele was like TikTokers, sometimes musicians, but people with followings.
Yeah,
so it was really easy to pump out content.
For sure.
And I did that from like September to October of 2022. Or no, December. And it was kind of one of those things where I'm in a lot of rooms that I had no business being in, but it's also like, and I'm still feeling that. A lot of the times I go into rooms where I'm like, this is hilarious. Almost
why
like,
the hell am I here right
yeah,
now?
dude. In the way that some people get imposter syndrome, sometimes I just laugh, like, because it's not. I definitely feel imposter. I think it's just natural, anyone to feel imposter syndrome once you start doing anything that's above the level you were doing before. Yeah,
for sure.
But let's see. I lost my train of thought. But anyway, I was doing his vlogs for like,
the 8-ball pool thing, the whole
yeah. So I beat him, and then I came beat him in the pool, and then
virtual pool,
correct.
Virtual
we came out and we spent some months in LA. You ever heard of the Groove Cruise?
Yeah, of course.
We went on the Groove Cruise. We got a couple Groove Cruise vlogs, and I think we did 2. I posted 1 Groove Cruise video, and then my now buddies, TWINSICK, had DM'd me.
Oh, my God. I forgot.
Do you know the boys?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know them personally, but
Shout out Alex and Casey.
Yeah. I've known of them for a long time.
Yeah, dude, they're the best.
We were in like a WhatsApp chat with like me, them, and like fucking like 50 other artists like 3 years ago, dude.
They're good guys. They're really good guys.
That's so funny.
I mean, thanks to them is kind of what I'm doing now. Is I have a buddy, whose name is Welcome. He goes by Sonder. He's a DJ in Miami who, like, I think I made 1 video for him, and then it's like Instagram for me has been what social media is supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
I've never reached out. I do probably 0 outreach as far as work goes.
Yeah.
Everything that I've ever been booked for has been because someone sees my work on someone else's page and goes, "Who did that? Can I snag them?" Or it's friends of mine.
Yeah.
And that's like what I said before, is accidental networking. That's all LA is to me.
Yeah.
If like I go out and I'm filming something and I have one conversation where it's like I should be getting someone's phone number, someone's Instagram every single time, because regardless, this happens so many times where I get someone's Instagram and like 2 weeks later I'm like, what the fuck? Let's run it. Like, let's work. That first day I spent in LA with my buddy Rave King, the tattoo artist, we went landed in LAX, went straight to Boa for our buddy's birthday party, like with all of our bags. And at that dinner, I met one of my best friends and roommate. His name's Isaac Presley. He's on Disney. I don't know if you've probably heard of him before.
Yeah, I was gonna say the name sounds familiar.
Yeah. He does music now, so I don't know if you've heard of him. But I met my buddy Isaac. I met another buddy of mine, Chapman, who's a DJ, and then I met Surf Mesa at that dinner, Powell. And then when I moved back to Newport Beach last spring,
Shout out.
Yeah, dude, it was my same buddy Ryan. Shout out Ryan. You're gonna laugh that I just did that. But we grew up together playing lacrosse in Massachusetts, and he came out here first before me doing like I'm Schmacked videos, and he was part of that whole content house
Holy
scene.
Shit.
So yeah, he's been tapped in for
a while.
Longest, yeah. And he was that person for me to be like, you're capable of more than bartending. I see you making these videos. Why not do it bigger? And so I'm so grateful to have him, dude. He flew me out probably the first 6 to 8 times I came to Los Angeles and just said, stay with me until it works.
Wow.
And that was Newport Beach last year. And we were, during the weekdays, spending our days in Ben Aslart's warehouse, working on there. You know Ben?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I was like rocking camera 2 and editing a little bit, and Ryan was running the edits. And then at night we would go into LA and like film parties or music stuff. And then it became like a month in, it was like, we don't really need to be doing this YouTuber stuff. Like, it's fun. These guys are great, but it's also like mind numbing to edit, dude. It's one of those things where it's like, and they're pumping it out. They do it so incredibly well. It's a well-oiled machine. But as someone who like started this as a hobby because they're passionate about it before they thought it was something they could do as a career, I'm sure you feel it's like you get to a certain point where you're editing something and you're like, kill me, dude.
No, literally. It's like I would rather rather eat broken glass right now
exactly.
than do this.
It's like if I'm getting excited to go film party videos in Los Angeles because my day job is something's evened out. Not that party videos aren't great, but you get burnt out on that to an extent. And
for sure.
Long story short, I did the whole sleeping on my homie's couch in phases long enough that when I went home last summer, I had enough connections that were still hitting me up about work.
Fire.
And so I was like, it's time to run it. And my buddy had a had a room open in LA, and I moved there in September. And since then, I've been doing mainly DJ stuff, which is obviously how we met indirectly, not through work. You were actually working.
Yeah.
I was just there because gotta flip that wrist sometimes, dog.
You gotta.
And in the sushi restaurant, that was actually a cool setup.
No, it was vibe. It was vibe.
A cool setup.
It was vibe for sure.
But yeah, dude, I struggle with it a little bit. I would say more than recently, especially this year, because the first 3 months of this year were so slow for me work-wise. But it was also the first time I've had to rely on basically making Instagram reels for other people as a living. And I think it hit a certain point of, like, I think anyone who makes videos for other people will have these thoughts of, like, why aren't I just doing this for myself? Which is weird because it's like I don't want to make those types of videos for myself. Like, if you go on my Instagram, half of my favorite videos are just like static shots on a tripod of me and like my family or people specifically, and it's not like a crazy edit I've done. I'm
or
not
your dog.
Always the dog.
Always the dog.
Always the dog.
Always the dog.
Can I pet that dog?
Everybody always asks what the dog doing, but nobody ever asks how the dog doing.
I hope the dog's doing well,
I hope
man.
the dog's doing well too.
But yeah, man, it's always been a hobby. I love making videos. For me, it was like, remember, I don't know, in like middle school for me, it was like everyone who had a camera had a photography Instagram account. It was like their first letter of their first name, their last name, and then photography.
Yep.
And I just always thought it was cool to be making videos instead of pictures, because it's like, before anyone knew how to edit or do anything, it's like you can give a bunch of people a good camera and they'll all be able to take a pretty good picture.
Yeah.
But videos, you give a bunch of editors the same footage and you're going to get a drastically different video every time.
I think it's two sides of the same coin.
100%.
You know? Like
100%.
I think they go hand in hand, and I really can't do photos and
dude,
videos.
I can't
I'm
either.
still learning.
That's
like,
probably where the imposter syndrome comes in for me, because I have to do half the time. And I'm sure anyone who films for DJs has to deal with this too. But it's like, oh, you're doing a video. Any chance we could throw in some photos? And you're like, yeah, totally. So now, like, the past year has been also learning how to take pictures.
Yeah.
Which, like, I would say I'm a lot more comfortable doing now, but I would never refer to myself as a photographer.
Yeah.
So it's funny when sometimes I'm just getting gigs that are just to take photos, but they're like, what's your hourly rate? And I'm like, I don't even know what to charge for pictures.
Yeah, like I'm not a photographer.
I'm
really.
not. But for me, it's a lot less about having and I've been thinking about this a lot lately, because just in general, because I've never had like super insanely specific goals. It's just always been something that it's like the only thing I could see myself doing was creating videos and making it somehow, like with TWINSICK, they were the first DJs to basically give me a chance with that. And not that I even knew I wanted to do DJ stuff. I definitely obviously thought it was sick and consumed that type of content.
For sure.
But they hit me up after they saw that like Groove Cruise video I posted and was like, you want to try some shit this winter? And I was like, fuck yeah, dude. And then that's how I met my buddy Sam, who I was just talking about, because he was the Big Night Live videographer for the venues, and I would be with them.
Oh, gotcha.
And I'm from Boston, so we just stayed connected.
Yeah.
And now he lives in West Hollywood, dude. He's the homie. But TWINSICK specifically were the first people to be like, come along. I don't care if you don't think you know what you're doing. Let's run it. And I'm so grateful for those guys, because I put so much pressure on myself as someone who has no idea what I'm doing, or I think I have somewhat of an idea of what I'm doing now, but the editing process would just like make me so anxious, because what I had in my head was not what I was seeing on my laptop. And I struggle with that a lot.
And that is, dude, I want to touch on that point, because as like, I mean, and I've said this on previous episodes before, like, whether you're a musician, whether you're a fucking clothing designer, a videographer, a photographer, like, a lot of the part of what you do revolves around your ability to make content. And that's just the reality of it. And I think that's obviously something, especially for myself, that I've realized I need to focus on.
Yeah.
And I need to learn how this works, and to be able to deliver a great product in that sense via digital content.
Yeah.
But there also comes that side where it's the editing process, and you have these great shots or these great things that you were visualizing in the process of recording it, but then when it comes down to you editing it,
you're just like,
yeah, there's like, yeah,
like I can
it's
see
like a
this in my head,
disconnect,
and it's not there for me.
Yes, and I wonder how you deal with that, because I deal with that a lot, and I talked about that, like I said, on many previous episodes, and I've had many private conversations with myself, just being like, why is this not connecting in the way that I wish it was connecting? Is it just because, like, is it the same process of when you make a song? Like you film for Surf Mesa, you hang out with a lot of artists and been in a lot of studio sessions. Like, you have to know that process of the music creation, where it's like you create it, you come up with the idea, but then when it comes to like
So cool to watch.
delivering it, there can be a disconnect of where you're like, oh, never mind, this fucking sucks.
Yeah, it's like the first time you play it for someone else, and you're like, never mind.
Yeah, you're like, you know what?
mind.
Actually, I did not make this.
Yeah.
And I think that applies to video too.
100%.
And
100%.
And I've always wondered
Photos as well. I think it's creating anything, dude.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah, for sure.
I mean, I think it's anyone's. It's like the little boy in us that's like, please don't tell me this video sucks. But it's also like, we shouldn't give a fuck if this video sucks. Like, I think for me, touching on the consistency part of things is something that I am so inconsistent with my posting. And that's something I was talking to you about before we started, is that the consistency with not only your posting, but what you're posting about is very commendable.
Thank you.
Because that's like the biggest thing I struggle with is staying consistent, because I think as people who know, like, I try to never let perfect get in the way of good enough.
Because
which is like,
perfect is almost an impossible attainable
dude,
goal.
it is. Like, the output of a perfectionist is nothing. And at the same time, for me, the biggest thing I struggle with is I'll film something, I'll get all my selects, and I'll color it, like, basically, and I'll start kind of putting it to where I want to be on the timeline, and I just can already tell it's something I want to make so good that I procrastinate on it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does anyone else do that? It's like something that matters to me the most, so I put it off because I'm like, no, not yet. Like, it's almost like a source of inspiration needs to strike, but that's awful, because I'm not someone who likes to just sit around and like wait to be inspired. I'd never have just watched a movie and been like, light bulb. Like, I have to go outside and experience things.
I feel you very heavily on that, actually.
Someone very important to me, and also someone very wise, once told me that the work experience and what I'm able to create will directly correlate with my life experience. And I think that is valid for pretty much anyone creating anything.
Yeah.
That right now I'm only able to make the videos that I can make or see in my head based off of the life I have lived thus far. The more you experience, the more your perspective opens, the more point of views you have, and the more you're able to create using different people's, not just perspectives, but like, it could be anything as simple as like cultures or different music, you know what I mean? But just to touch on it not coming out the way you want it to, for me, it's colors.
I feel you.
Colors, dog.
Dude, I've been fucking the past like month and a half like watching so many YouTube videos on how to.
Are you on DaVinci?
Brother, you did you see my reel where I did in Joshua Tree where bro, I colored that on CapCut.
Yeah.
I colored that on CapCut, dog.
That's a flex.
I colored that on CapCut.
Dude, that is a flex, my guy.
Dude,
let me fix these headphones for a second. Dude, that's insane.
I have no shame in saying
That's
that. All my content, all my coloring,
it's impressive.
I do everything on CapCut. That's all I use.
Honestly, something that has been holding me back from consistency is something I was going to say also is with CapCut, I think it's a tool that people who are professional editors and videographers should be using, if not more. Maybe I'm just saying this to myself directly, because I think what stops me from being consistent posting is overthinking it, like we were saying before. That in the reality of things, it's not like I have like 1 million followers, dude. It's like half of my reels get this pretty much same watch time anyway. It's like, I don't know why I let certain things hold me back from posting, when really I have no ego about this. It's the only thing I'm this passionate about.
Yeah.
I want more people to see my stuff.
Of course.
So half the time, it's like I said, I'm waiting to like, no, I want this to be so good. and then it comes to the day before it's due or delivery if it's not for myself. And then I'm like, fuck. I just do it all in 5 hours at 3 a.m. because I am unable to work at normal times in the day. But it's something I struggle with a lot. Yeah. And
you're not alone in that.
No, I can't imagine I would be.
You're not.
But as far as, I mean, that's just procrastinating in general.
Yeah.
But as far as images not looking the way you want them to, I think for me, a lot of it has been because everything I get paid to do is on socials, right? So it's as soon as I started filming horizontally again, I'm like, wow, look at everything. Look at all the capabilities. Look at everything is possible. When you film vertical, even wide angles, like you're getting a vertical wide angle shot. When you crank it to the right, horizontal, I don't need to mansplain cropping things, but it's given me like a new sense of I kind of just like revamping why I do this. Like I've been thinking a lot lately also as far as switching gears into specifically what I want to focus on work wise. And it's mainly short form stuff, which at the same time I have been letting kind of and I've heard like the guys in the 505 talk about this as well. Costas, I'm sure you've watched. Yeah. He talked a lot about when he toured on with Loud Luxury that he noticed a lot of who his sense of self was because of what he did for work. And that I think I subconsciously do that a lot with the work I'm not proud of instead of only like thinking in my head I'm represented by the things I am proud of. Does that make sense? And a lot of it is, dude, a lot of it is like, I don't know if you can relate to this, but sometimes like I want to make an edit that's so cool or make something that's really, really unique. Not even just unique, but something that I'm just like, like I'm proud of, genuinely just proud of.
I fucking made this.
Exactly. I've only ever felt that way over videos I made for myself, unfortunately. That like sometimes, because it's also the sense of turnaround times. I'm sure you can relate to this. That like as an editor or a videographer, I will never know what a video using my full creative abilities would look like because I have to do it in such a short time frame, which sucks, but it's also like a part of the fun.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm realizing that I'm a little too hard on myself in a lot of times because I'm like, this needs to be the sickest thing ever. That genuinely all that matters is getting it out on time, dude. And like with the CapCut things, it's like I shoot a lot of everything on my Sony, and I post drone videos, random shit like that, camcorder videos, whatever. And that when I film stuff on my phone, I'll just throw it in CapCut and do it like that to save yourself some time. Like smarter, not harder. Yeah. Like we don't need to color grade iPhone videos. Unless you're shooting on the 15.
Yeah, I'm shooting in log.
I haven't messed around with that yet, but it's something that I think is going to be like that's never going to go away. Never. And I think like I was talking to someone recently about how I almost said like when I'm where I want to be. And then I was like, I'm never going to be where I want to be. It's like you heard that Matthew McConaughey speech. He's like, I'm always chasing who I'm going to be in 10 years. It's so cheesy to me. But like the more I think about being at a place where I would feel happy, or not that I'm not happy now, but fulfilled career-wise in a place that I'm at, I don't think that exists. Because wherever... It's like as soon as you level up, you see the next level. It's right there. And that, especially people who create things, it's different if it's like we were making a sitcom and after season 2, we were like, we've got this dialed. We know the flow of things. This is what it's going to look like forever. Totally. Your music is not going to sound like what it does right now in 5 years. No. My videos aren't going to look like what they look like in 5 years. And I think that they will always be evolving. And same with like the life experience. The more we live, the more we learn, the more people we meet, the more things that we do. That is all going to manifest itself into what we create.
Yeah, that all plays a part into our output.
Huge,
100%.
Huge. And I think honestly, the biggest takeaway from from our conversations today is fucking. It's hard also as someone who struggles with posting because I have so many videos.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
That I'm just waiting to fucking throw out there, but I'm also like, no, I should do 30 days in a row. Or, no, I know if you post every other day for 1 week and then don't post another week, the Instagram algorithm doesn't like you. I'm not verified. I don't crank reels. Why am I letting Instagram algorithms stop me?
Yeah.
Like, we're just letting things that have no association to what we should be putting out stop us from doing so.
100%.
Which is just absurd, dude. Like, sometimes you just need to,
No.
like, this has been one of the most healthy conversations I've had about this in the longest time, because sometimes you just need someone else to be like, we do that.
Yeah.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Like, put us in check. Like,
Yeah, and not even necessarily that like we're looking for an answer, just
Dude,
like
not at all.
to just put
like,
the question out there of like, why is it the way that it is?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it?
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple things that are very relevant to this.
Heard.
My gosh, I think this was like 10 or 12 episodes back. I had Adrian Verdell on. Yeah, I don't know if you're
The homie.
familiar.
He follows me.
Yeah, Adrian. So
I mean, dude, like I said, if you watch J. Alvarez, you're also watching Nelk Boys.
Yeah, exactly.
Legend.
So, yep. So you know who Adrian
Adrian,
is.
yep.
If you guys don't know, he was the ex-videographer for Nelk, and he now runs Trailer Park and does like
so dope.
Yeah, he's so dope. He was a great dude. It was the first time we'd ever met. He drove down from LA on Halloween.
What a good guy,
Yeah,
dude.
it was awesome. We had a great conversation, and one of the things that I really took away from it, and that obviously I took very seriously because of his pedigree and what he's done,
Right.
is he said, quote, post your garbage.
Dude.
Post your garbage. He's like, I can't tell you how many times when we were shooting for Nelk or when we were in the earlier phases where we just posted everything. Didn't give a fuck if it looked like trash, if it sounded like trash, if it was all this, because if you don't post your garbage, you never know if that piece of garbage is going to be the one, and garbage is selective. If that piece of garbage is going to be the one that hits.
Dude,
And
people say it all the time. It's like, I posted that video and didn't think anyone was going to watch it, and that's the one that blew you up.
Exactly. And how many times do you hear that? And that was something that I really, really took away from that conversation that always like lives in the back of my head. And then another thing, my aunt and uncle run a company called M Factor.
Heard.
Which basically they do all of the Times Square billboards, movie posters for Marvel, Disney, like they're big time, and that's what they do. And my aunt told me this probably like a year and a half ago when they were doing a big Disney thing. She's like, the difference between artists, successful artists, and not successful artists, whether that's artist creators, is real artists deliver. Yeah, and that is the defining factor, and that plays into the point we were talking about. What is perfection? What is this? What is, if you have a job or you have a gig or you got to edit a video, you have to deliver that. And you literally have to deliver that.
Yeah, that's like
there is no
the
option not
to. Creating for yourself versus creating for someone else. You can make a video for yourself and choose never to post it. You got paid to make a video for someone. It's gotta come out.
It's gotta come out. And I think understanding, especially like when I do like my commercial work and stuff, when there's like a lot of hands in the pot, very similar to like when you're working with clients or DJs and there's like a deliverable time.
Right.
It's just like always kind of keeping in the back of your mind that maybe I know and I'm aware that this might not be exactly what I want it to be, because as the creative, there's always more. How we said, there's always the next level.
It's like you can always keep editing.
Exactly. You can always keep editing. You can always keep adding another sound or taking a sound out or doing this. But when does it come to a point where it's like, I'm very happy with where
satisfied.
I'm very satisfied with where it is for what it is.
Exactly.
To be able to be delivered. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I think that's how you continue to get more work. Because you deliver a great product.
Dude, it's being consistent. It's being consistent.
100%. And you deliver it, and it's a quality product because that's what they were looking for. Maybe not be what you were looking for.
That's another, But it's hard to know you could create something that you would really like, but you're being paid to make someone else's vision. And that's, I think,
talked about this last episode, dude. I love that this connects right now.
I think it's why I will never not make videos for myself. And it's kind of what I was leaning towards, more also thinking of the short form video side of things. Is career wise, I don't need to associate whatever my personal brand is right now and what it is becoming with the style of videos I make. I don't need to have that be what I am professionally.
Yeah.
Is that I'm always going to be making these videos. Always. Like
It's who you are.
It's who I am. It is literally
who you are.
And I could switch industries completely because obviously I don't want to be doing the DJ stuff forever. It's so much fun to me right now.
Of course.
And I think I say a lot, I'm craving to be burnt out on it because I know this is not the end goal, but I don't know what is after the DJ stuff. I just know that it's kind of like what I was saying before. It's like once I get to this level, I'll be satisfied. It's like in my head, I'm like, once I'm at a point where I'm consistently making content that I'm proud of for DJs, and I've done some really big shows or something like that, then I think it will be then time for me to move on next to whatever it comes after.
For sure.
DJs.
Whatever the next door is going to be.
Exactly. And a lot of it is be okay posting iPhone videos for people with like, because so many, especially people that do what I do, especially in LA, there's so much ego going around towards it. And it's like, dude, the imposter syndrome for me comes like, I know what I can do, but I also know that I've only professionally been doing this for like a year and a half, 2 years. So sometimes when I get hired by new people, kind of expecting them to look at my work and be like, what the fuck is this? I thought he was a professional. I thought this was good. But everyone's so great all the time. Everyone's so supportive. And it's one of those things where it's like, you just have to believe in yourself. And it's not as simple as being like, yeah, I got this. It's as simple as like, I stress myself out for certain jobs. And that like, for example, TWINSICK, who's love those guys to death. They helped me in the beginning because their manager, one of the first things, I think it was like some show I had blown the audio completely. All clips, garbage audio. You couldn't do. So I ended up making a bunch of GIFs that they could use. And their manager said, as long as we're getting better with every show, that's the only thing that matters. And it's like every single time I pick up my camera, if I'm learning something or doing something new that I've never done, that's progress.
Progress over perfection.
Yeah, dude. And that's really all it is. Is like, I'm never going to look at a video and be like, this is my magnum fucking opus. Look at this Instagram reel right now. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Like I have a couple of those, but it's like, we're never going to be satisfied with one thing because we're always going to need to be creating things.
Of course.
And that's just, I've accepted that.
Yeah.
Like as a creator in general, that I know, like I said, like I don't have a specific goal of something, but I know it's like I follow my interests, and
which I think is very important.
Yeah, dude, and it's the only like I said, I did the OnlyFans agency shit for like a couple months, and it showed me very quickly that I would rather be poor and happy than a millionaire and
doing this
hating
shit.
my fucking life, dude. Because I'm from a beach town. I'm from Cape Cod. I grew up. We didn't have much. My parents were sailors. All I need is a Jeep and a dog and the sun, and I'm chilling. And if I have to trade that for not creating things for people, then that's going to become an ultimatum for sure. But I don't think it ever will. And I think that I'm sure also as a musician, this is a hard thing too, not to like, I guess, take things so personally with your, because sometimes people will be like I'll be taking a photo shoot of someone and I'll be like, don't know how to say that they don't love that angle or something. Or like, I don't know. I'm like, if you don't like this, say that. Like we're doing it right now. Let's get what you want, right? And that's kind of correlates to the like, I'm not making what I want to make. I'm making what you need me to make. Yeah. And I was gonna say with music, is that ever a thing for you where you're like, you get an idea or does someone ever give you a guidelines like, we want a track that sounds like this, and you're like so hype about it, and they're like, this is dope, but you get a revision.
Oh yeah.
And you're like,
100%. When I
every time you get a revision, it makes it worse, right?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Yeah, literally the when I did the Formula One Red Bull commercial.
So sick, by the way.
Thank you.
So sick.
Yeah, that was one of those instances. That was like 6 revisions and then 6.1, 0.2, 0.3, and get that on the GovX commercial that I just did. It was the first score that I ended up making was actually the one that was used in the commercial, but I made like 7 other versions after that because they were going down the other routes, and then we ended up coming back to the first one that I had sent like a month ago. And sometimes that's just the way that it is. Yeah. And I think that's part of the business
and the process of things.
That's part of the business and the process, especially when you're, like how you said earlier, when you're bringing someone else's vision to life. And I just think that is an important factor to realize, just knowing that you are bringing someone else's vision to life and to not really take it
personally
and
Genuinely.
anything more than that,
Yeah.
just to do everything that you can do to it and give it your best. And that's literally all that you can do, and be communicative. And
I think that's how
and
you can. That's how you would do it the best.
I think
Anything.
that's the way, and I'm sure you can relate. Is that's the way that I truly have found that is the only way to do it, is to almost disconnect from the I'm like gonna feel fucked up for saying this, but it's almost like to disconnect yourself from the creative aspect of it.
That's literally what I thought you were gonna say.
You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
But not disconnecting from the creative aspect, but from the creative aspect on that level as a creative.
Yep, there
you
we
know
go.
What you know
Sealed
what
the
I mean?
deal.
Yeah,
you got
like,
there.
You know what I mean? And
I
I
do.
think that if you can do that when you're doing work for other people, I think that helps
That's how
the input and the output so much. Like
because
so
you won't
much.
struggle with timelines. You won't. It's.
Mhm.
Yeah, dude. For me, it's so directly correlated to when I'm, because there's like a big umbrella under the content creation umbrella that I get hired for. Sometimes it's making recap videos with my camera, and sometimes it's doing multicam stuff. Sometimes I'm camera 2. Sometimes I'm just the TikTok guy, which I love because it's just me doing what I usually do with no stress, just getting iPhone videos. And it's more of like, if that's what I'm getting paid to do the most, lean into that.
Yeah.
And it's not like, okay, yeah, but I want to be making the cool recap videos that they do. I'm never going to be those guys, dude. The editors, comparison destroys personality. And it's like half of what we've been talking about today is like, if you're...
That's a beautiful tattoo.
Thanks,
I
dude.
love that.
If you're someone who creates and you wake up and you check Instagram, you are immediately going to feel like you are behind. It's every single day for me that I wake up and I check Instagram. I had to delete Instagram off my phone. I only check it on my computer now.
Bro, dude, you are, this is fucking wild right now. You are literally hitting on fucking points in exact topics that I literally had direct conversations with myself about.
We had no set list for today. I want to point that out.
There is never a script to this, ever. But that is so fucking crazy. And that tattoo, comparison destroys personality. I think, especially speaking from an artist point of view, like a smaller artist like myself, that is probably one of the biggest things ever.
It's probably why it's what we've been talking about all day. Why do we let things stop us from posting things? It's because we're like, fuck, everyone's already doing this. Everyone's already doing it so much better.
And I also said it the other day. I think it might have been to myself. It actually might have been to myself. I think that is really the hard kind of point where we're at. Maybe not point, but just like the reality of the social temperature and how we were kind of talking off camera. The pace of social now is, anytime you open your phone, you're always going to see someone that's doing better, that's making better videos, that's making better music, that's making this, that's at a higher level than you are. And that is really hard to consume and not fuck you up. Let's just be real.
Dude, I go through phases of it of being
let's just call a spade a spade.
It's hard. It's hard, and that's genuinely like why I say it all the time. Like, I wish I could just delete all the social media out of my life, but it is literally all I do.
Say that all the time.
And that's why
if I didn't have to have it, I wouldn't have it.
Dude, and sometimes my screen time is like, it makes my heart drop. Like when I get that notification at the end of the week, like I don't need to be on it as much as I am. And a lot of it is like, no, I'm looking up stuff for work or whatever, dude. It's like, no, we're not.
Yeah.
But wait,
I do think it can be. And I've thought about that this way too. I think there can be like almost an R&D element to social media if you want it to be.
I think that's all.
Like
anyone who's gotten successful on social media has had to do R&D at some point.
Had to. Like I think
post some shit, you figure out what it works, and you stick to that.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is here. I got a question for you. This is something I've been struggling with a lot in general. Not like struggling with, but it's a conversation I've been having with myself lately. Is that I like. And whether this directly correlates to music or creating any avenue of which you create, I would never out loud tell someone that I'm a filmmaker. But I would also never say out loud that, hi, I'm a content creator. And it's hard for myself to like own that what I feel like I'm an artist, but I don't feel like what I'm creating right now is something that I view as art. Does that make sense? And it sucks because it's like, I know I'm not an Instagram reel guy. Like but all I do is on reels, and so I struggle with sometimes, like, dude, you don't need to make this art. This is just content. Like, it's also not like not for you. Just pump someone's content out, and that, like, example A, I had to edit a TikTok the other day. I don't know how to fucking do that. Like, the whole knowing when to put text on the screen and how to, like, the comedic timing of things. There's no music. That's how I pace and edit. But, like, certain things of I'm just like a broken record at this point of, like, disassociating what you feel like as an artist and just making content, which is something I struggle with huge. And I've been thinking a lot lately, like, I need to just start posting videos on YouTube and not even posting about them or saying anything. No, not, hey, go post this new YouTube video, just watch it, is because I don't know the last time I edited a video longer than 35 seconds.
Yeah.
That was horizontal. Like, I'm losing sometimes that creative aspect, I feel like, because I'm focused so much on, will people watch this on Instagram?
Yeah. Because you're focused on the content aspect of it.
Dude. And
I feel that very heavily. And I think my answer for me, that is something that has helped me a lot, is it is a hard line, especially in today's society, between art and content, because able to make art or to be an artist, you also have to make content.
Dude, I say it to DJs all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, or guys who are just mainly like producers.
Yeah.
That are like, I don't want to post a fucking TikTok. And it's like, well, do you want to be successful in 2024?
Yeah.
You have to post TikTok.
100%. And I think kind of where you're kind of what you're saying of the, I'm feeling like I feel like I consider myself an artist because I don't want to rep that I'm a content creator or this and that. I think for me, how I like kind of delineate or separate that line is, what I try and look at it is, we're all artists. You're an artist. I'm an artist. Anybody that does anything like you or anything like me or anything in that realm is an artist. But it's untraditional art. And untraditional art in the way that we are artists, we are painters, we are crafters, we are making stuff with our hands, with our minds, but our canvas is different now. And although our canvas is different, and it is no longer it's no longer the same where an artist, a Jackson Pollock, paints a painting and it's in a museum and everyone goes to admire it or goes to see that one thing because they're going to see that thing.
It's accessible everywhere.
It's accessible everywhere because the canvas is different, because it's a global canvas, which is the double-edged sword of, it's a blessing and a curse, because you want to make art for yourself, but there is also the aspect where your art for yourself, there is a secondary thought of, yes, this is my art, but will other people receive my art in the way that I'm receiving it when they come across it on a 7-second reel?
I was about to say, exactly. And it's the only way that they see it is through sources.
Exactly. It's the only way that they see it. It is the global canvas. So I think that is where it's amazing, because it is, we've never had it in the history of humankind.
Yeah.
And to be a creator, to be an artist, I think is an amazing opportunity. And I remember when the whole kind of social media shit was like really popping off, like kind of that pre-COVID era, like I was seeing a lot of artists like Ghastly and like who were like really big back in the day and still absolutely crushing it, but where a lot of artists were taking to social media being like, I hate that I have to make content now. I hate that I have to do this. I hate this. And I'm like, I get that, because it does, I feel like it can taint the artistic nature of what we do.
Yep.
But I feel like learning to live with it and learning to understand
having
that
a good relationship with not associating every part of your ego
as and not associating as everything as content. It's being distributed as content, but the way that you're making it in the process of the creation of it is art.
Bar. Word for word, bar for bar.
And I think that's how I choose to look at it. And don't get me wrong, like, I'm human. I do this as any of you who are watching or listening. Like, we still get in those modes or those minds where we think of oh, I got to make this because someone else has got to like it and this and
Right,
that.
dude.
And that I truly don't think will ever go away, but I think it's learning how to mitigate that voice and just understanding your process in the way that you do what you do is art within itself.
Once you believe that and you don't feel like a fucking phony for doing it, there's nothing that can stop you.
100%. And I think to the phony kind of imposter syndrome point to it is something that I always try and tell myself, and I've told many others, is trying to learn to not be so hard on yourself for something that you are so new to.
Dude.
Like,
fuck. My boy Sam, who I've brought up a couple times, who you met that night that we were all at the boiler room, he has been doing this for over a decade. He is one of the most talented videographers and photographers. He would never admit that I know personally. And he shoots on an A7 III. And he is one of, which is technicality wise, not like a low light friendly camera.
Yeah.
It's all right, but like the industry standard FX3, A7 III, S3, and A7 IV. My boy shoots on a fucking 8-year-old camera and has been doing it for too long that he is one of the biggest people I struggle with being like, why am I comparing myself to Sam? I've been doing, and he says it to me all the time. He's like, dude, you've been doing this for a year and a half. I have literally been doing this for a decade. Why would you assume that you are able to, and not in an egotistical way, but why would you assume that you're able
to do what I do?
But like, why would you hold yourself to that same standard that I do?
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard.
For sure.
That's just the comparison over personality part of it is like, why are we comparing ourselves to people who have literally been doing this either their entire life or
from when I was in fucking middle school.
Bro, the biggest thing the biggest thing for comparison, like once I go down rabbit holes thinking about that, is like, I'm like, damn, this video I made in comparison to someone else, or say it's a DJ who has a video by me on their page, and then you scroll down a little bit and there's a video someone else made, and it's fucking sick.
That's because you're looking at it that way, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
That's what we do as artists. I can't tell you how many times I fucking make a song, release a song, I listen to a bunch of music, I'm like, God, this fucking sucks. And then I like hear some more tracks, and then I go back and listen to my song, I'm like, this is like just as good. Like, this truly is like in the same realm. Like,
yeah, dude.
It literally doesn't matter what the fuck it sounds like.
That's when it comes further into, it's like, dude, I'm never gonna be Jackson Wigger. You know, I'm never gonna be these insane editors. That's like
Gibson Hazard,
bro. Shout out those guys, dude. Literal goats. But
animals.
The more I think, and I'm still like, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't take my own advice. Like, you know, you ever like giving your best friend advice and you're like, I tell myself that shit all the time, and I don't listen. In the same way that it's a bit like, why are you comparing yourself to these guys, the literal goats of the industry, when you should, as soon as you realize your value lies in creating things from your perspective, I think it all changes. And I'm still in the process of doing that, but it's like, someone told me this so long. It was literally the day before I moved to Los Angeles, and it's been like, it lives rent-free in my head, is if you have to change not just who you are, because that's kind of obvious, but if you have to change who you are, or act a certain way, or try and fit into a mold that does not directly fit you in order to be in a situation you thought you wanted to be in, or work with someone, that's not for you at all. And that our value at, like, how many guys in LA know how to make videos? How many people know how to produce, right? Like, your value lies in your, not just originality, but it, like, all of social media is copycats, right?
That's all it is. No one reinvents the wheel.
Exactly. So it's like, if we're all doing the same thing, the only reason people stand out is because they're doing it directly aligned with who they are. And that's,
fucking love that.
Yeah, that's something I
love that so much.
With the back to the content versus art debate, that's something I struggle with to backpack on what I just said versus like the pace of videos. Or I can't make this video longer than a minute because no one's going to watch it past 8 seconds. And then it's like, at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck if no one watches it past 8 seconds. I love this video. And so when it's like, it's this constant battle in your head versus like, why do you care so much about people who you really don't either know or like it's not like I'm getting a billion shares on every play. It's like this sense of fulfillment that I get from creating things. And have you ever read Rick Rubin's book?
That is, dude, get the fuck out of my brain. Literally, get the fuck out of my brain. I was just going to ask you, have you read The Creative Act? Dude.
I had to listen to it because I love that man's voice.
Literally, when you said fucking, whatever your last point was, you're creating it for, you make sure it's true to you and people are paying you for what you, I was literally going to say, I'm like, have you read The Creative Act? Because that's like.
All the time. I go on walks and listen to Rick.
Dude.
You got to listen to it.
Oh.
His voice sometimes. It's like listening to fucking.
Bob Ross.
Yeah, but it's like the only 3 books I've ever listened to. It's Matthew McConaughey's, Anthony Bourdain's, and Rick Rubin's. Like those, sometimes you need the voice when they're that legendary. But he made some point, and I'm gonna butcher the articulation of this, but to kind of give some context into what I think he was trying to say was, when as an artist, when you are creating things, if you let that creative spark die. And for me, it's directly correlated to, like, if I brought my laptop, I'll show you after this, dude. I have at least 23 videos open in the edits that I'm, like, not going to finish today or this week because I don't know what I want to do with them. But I'm letting their potential grow in my head, that the longer they sit without being finished, it is this unrealistic sense of fulfillment that you think you're going to get when you finally post it, and it just is not gonna happen. It's non-existent. That as soon as I heard him say that, it's like, dude, off the top of my head, I have a video I filmed in January that I don't really know how to finish it, and it's gonna be one of those things that I finish in a day and I'm not super happy with, and I'm just like, if I don't get this out now, it's never going to be posted. That very recently that's been the case, is like, because I'm always filming random shit. Like, the first time I saw you today, I had a camcorder in your face. I don't know what that clip is going to be in, but it will be in something. That, like, I'm always filming shit and not really know. Like, I just started shot listing.
It's all right.
Game changer, by the way.
Game changer,
by the way. Because that's what it's also like, that's another example of, like, why am I comparing myself to these goats of the industry when I've never even done the proper, like, prep for certain things. And I'm still learning. It's like I'm such a baby and a rookie in this that, like, it's hard to. That's another reason that's like, dude, you can't have any ego at all, because especially in LA, it's like sometimes I'm shooting for like a couple $100 for a DJ that no one's really heard of, and other times I'm getting paid for travel days and doing all this other shit. Like, you can't associate yourself with the most you've gotten paid for a gig and been like, this is my standard now. I have something to learn from every situation and everyone, dude. Like, I can't 100%. And that's kind of what I meant by LA people aren't my people, but the atmosphere is because everyone here has got such an ego.
Yeah.
But everyone's also creating things, and it's like this almost sense of like competition with people you can't see. Until you have
competing with ghosts.
Exactly. Until you have friends that are doing the same things you're doing. And it's like we were talking about before. Once you can collaborate with your friends and you realize that we're all feeling these same feelings, dude. We all have imposter syndrome. We're all not insanely proud of everything we create. None of us are stopping, though.
No. Yeah. That is the most common
It is
ground.
a never-ending process. And it's not like one of those, like, it's like the business TikToks you see where it's like, entrepreneurs only fail when they quit. We're never going to fail because we're doing what we love. Which, like, at the end of the day, dude, that's all it is for me. Like, I could lose whatever I have in LA and be back in Cape Cod and be making TikToks of my dog, and I'd be so happy.
Yeah.
That, like, I think that's sometimes why I psych myself out so much. Sorry, to come back to something I forgot I was going to say earlier. With certain situations of stressing yourself out for gigs, I don't know if really this happens to you, but that really is my biggest thing that, like, I know 20 years from now
You're going to laugh at.
I'm going to fucking be like, Jesus, Aidan, like, give yourself a break, dog. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, what's some piece of advice you would tell yourself 10 years ago? It's like, fucking relax, dude. Like, when I was on shows with TWINSICK, I had never done nightlife. I had never shot with a flash. I had never done DJ reels, and I was holding myself to the standard that I had seen them have, and that didn't matter to them. What matters, especially when you're traveling with someone, is if you're a good fit. Do you like these people? Can you like, do you mesh well with like, same way that like you and Jake clearly have that dynamic where it's like you guys are boys and you can see it in the content, and that's why the content's good.
Dude, that's so funny that you say that. That's literally like the last time that I filmed with him when we were in Vegas. Like, I fucking absolutely just fucked all the footage in the nightclub. Because honestly, this camera sucks in low light.
No,
dude.
I have something to show you.
Okay, good. Because anyway, I fucking absolutely just peppered all the fucking footage.
It sucks.
And
your
then,
heart drops.
Yeah.
It happened to me the other day.
And then, but I like got a bunch of like great vlog style content. And he literally called me when we got home, and he was like, because after the footage, just was all shit. He was like, yeah, none of this is usable. I was like, no worries.
Fair.
Yeah, fair. I was like, fair. But he was like, you know what I did realize that you're really, really great for?
Showing his personality.
Is showing his personality, but also I very much enjoy having you on the road. He's like, you're so fun to be with. You bring the energy up, like the lifestyle vlog clips, like that's what you're good for, is like being around and just filming like the natural shit.
Bro.
And I'm like, go.
I think, and dude, I
no hard feelings.
If you enjoy doing the camera stuff, lean into that, because that is something that is so casual for you, but is so unachievable for other people. Do you know what I mean by that? That like, hate to like give ourselves pat on the backs and gas ourselves up, but like I see you as someone who will try to get along with anyone that they're in a room with. Not because we're people pleasers, but because why the fuck wouldn't we?
Yeah, why
right? Like I don't.
Asshole?
Not just like, I want to talk to my Uber driver, dude. How's your day going? Like, you know what I mean? And
100%.
For me, especially going into the TWINSICK thing, I keep bringing it back to them, but they're the first people. Like all of my learning curves with this were applied during my time with them. And it's actually something that my buddy, one of the guys at Ben Aslart's team, told me. Because I was with them, got off the phone, and he was like, the only thing I would, because I was asking them for advice. I had never done anything like this. I never had a call, like a business call before. Like, what do I ask? And they're like, just don't agree to anything before you know it's a good fit, because a good fit is all that matters. And like, I don't know if you've filmed for anyone besides Jake. Have you? Dude, you don't need to. Cause it's like you go. For me, it's like I've filmed DJs who are like maybe older or not totally into making content. Where it's like they don't even look at the camera once for a picture, and it's like, come on, give me something. Dude.
Yeah.
But it's like once you have that dynamic, like you and Jake, or like me and my boys, TWINSICK, or even Powell. It's like I think videos where like the DJ turns around and like grabs the camera, or like clearly because of who they're looking at behind the camera is making them act a certain way. Like that brings a certain part of the person that all these people are watching
to it. It brings like humanity to it.
Big time. And that for me has been the biggest thing. Like is and especially also, have you heard of Curza? So that's the agency I've been working with lately since February.
Wow. Badass.
Yeah, dude, I'm so fucking happy. Like, I am so obsessed with everything they do, and everyone on their teams are so supportive and just unreal at what they do. I'm really happy to be continuing to doing stuff with them. And the coolest part is that it's an agency of videographers and photographers. Like that was an agency that is now on the top, created by 3 guys who started with cameras. So they have the context for like they treat us well, and they also like set us up for success. Like that's with their teams and everything. It's like, dude, everything gets so much easier when everyone has a certain role. Learn what your role play is. And specifically with the fit things, it's like February, my first client for Curza was Sullivan King. You know who Sullivan King is?
Yeah.
I've never been to a dubstep show in my entire life.
There's something else.
Going to the Thunderdome in Seattle to see him in Excision rewired my brain chemistry forever. That's something I was going to bring up. Sullivan King owns a laser rental company with a bit. Him and his, I'm not sure whether it's not his VJ, his main lighting guy, his best friend named Twitch. Him and his boy own all of the lasers that they use at their shows. Sullivan King has like 250 laser boxes sometimes at his shows. But when they're not using them, they're renting them out. Yep. So it's like, yeah, I think that's a fantastic idea. But example A, like Sullivan King is insane in a good way. Like he's nuts, dude. That energy is insane. And like I said, like I've never worked for someone that like we didn't get along. But in comparison to like working with the Chainsmokers or most recently Dillon Francis this weekend in San Diego,
Wow.
guys like that, it's clear there's a certain. It's like with you and Jake, dude. It's like even if you guys hadn't known each other before, there's a certain like click of.
Yeah. You're like, fuck yeah, fuck with you.
Yeah, and it's like an unspoken like, oh my god, wait, this is gonna be really easy.
Yeah.
Because
100%.
the more that you know, I'm just trying to make content that's good for you, like, and you're bringing out more of your personality. That only comes from liking who is behind the camera, and that I think I've heard so many people say it on podcasts that, and it's like I'm sure people who don't do what we do are just like,
what?
Fuck off with that statement. But it's such a people relationship based business that like, dude,
all about
some of the most successful people, directors, photographers, whatever, on paper are not the best, but because of who they are and how much fun they are to work with and how with the energy they bring, they are going to be working forever. They're going to be fully booked every single time. And that's like, for me, again, to bring back my buddy Sam, who's been doing this for the longest time, we are constantly having conversations, laughing kind of over the comparison thing, because it's like, why with Kurza, I would have let myself get in the way before. I need to make a show reel, I need to have a portfolio or a website. I still don't have a portfolio on the internet, which is why, that's what I'm saying, dude, just Instagram. It's just Instagram.
That is the portfolio.
That you send some DMs and one scroll, boom, that's how it goes. That like, I got him with Kurza because I sent Joe Larkin a DM. And he answered me, had a call. Gonna ask. Exactly, dude. And it's like, if I didn't have one of my best friends in my ear just telling me to do that, because she works for Steve Aoki and is in with Kurza a lot, I never would have done it.
Yeah.
But it's like, don't let yourself get in the way of work that you could be doing just because you think you need to be at a certain spot. Because half the time, it's like there's a standard that kind of anyone can match, whether it's videos, or actually specifically with videos. It's like you see a standard of, especially on socials, like there's a lot of people who could make that video. It's not specific to their style of editing or anything like that. So crank them. Like why would I let me trying to make like a cool edit get in the way of that? You know what I'm trying to say?
100%.
I think I lost my train of thought at the end there.
It's all good.
I'm a big yapper.
He said, I'm a big yapper.
Love to yap. That's why I thought this was going to be hilarious.
I'm a fucking big yapper.
We're both yappers,
yeah, we
brother.
are both yappers,
Cheers
brother.
to
Cheers to that. Well, dude, we're an hour and 12 minutes in.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, it's been an hour and 12 minutes.
Damn.
Goes by quick.
Time flies
dude,
when having fun.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's so funny because everyone who could just like come on the podcast is their first podcast. I'm like, yeah, so we're like over an hour. They're like, what?
Dude.
Like, I feel like it's been like 20 minutes. I'm like, no, it's been over a fucking hour, dude.
Should be a pat on the back for you, dude. Get there.
No, dude. I want to ask you like kind of like a final question.
Yeah, let's do it.
Just because everybody that's on the show gets asked this. It's the 7 on 7's one life advice question. So if someone, a fan of yours or someone who maybe wanted to start doing videos or anything of sort of anything was like, Aidan, I need a piece of advice right now. I need something that's going to help me out right now. What would that be?
Dude, just to hammer in everything we've been saying, leave your ego at the door and just start. Like, that's it, dude. I had never done a video in a nightclub before someone asked me to do it one time, and it's like, fuck. You don't know what you're doing, and you do it one time, and you realize you're capable of something you didn't realize you could do. And it's like, whether it's if you're a photographer, videographer wanting to get into nightlife, start local. Hit up, like, what if you're not in a city, find the closest one. Find any DJ who's touring in your city, anyone. Hit up venues. Just get inside. Get inside a venue and get your camera out, because the only way you're going to get better and get successful and trust yourself is to shoot, is experience. And that, just keep doing it, dude.
Love that.
Just create for yourself also is something I would say, is that
embrace the innocence.
Embrace the innocence, and don't let yourself get stuck in those phases of creating for other people and losing your inspiration. And that sometimes go out and make a video for yourself. don't let yourself forget that you did it for fun.
Yeah.
in the beginning.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
That's what I'd say.
That's a great answer.
Thank you.
Dude. Well, fuck it, guys. This has been an impeccable fucking episode.
Fuck yeah.
This was one of my favorite conversations,
Damn, brother.
if not ever. This was amazing. Seriously, I appreciate you coming on and fucking. I feel like we both needed this conversation and genuinely, this was such a genuine conversation. I fucking hope that you guys get something out of it and enjoy this. And
I know I did.
Yeah, me too. And that's always
This is really just for us.
Yeah, no, it really is, dude. And honestly, like, quick point, like I was gonna say, like, this whole the whole podcast is like I really do truly do it just for me in hopes that other people connect, because I'm like, it's not the biggest podcast in the world. I've been doing it for a long time, and it's like such slow incremental growth and this and that, and like videos don't really do well, and no one really shares.
But you stay consistent.
Yeah, but I do it because I genuinely love it, because I feel like someone is at some point is gonna come across and like really connect. And
Bro, if someone can take away something from one of these,
dude, like that's
you're
all.
winning.
Yeah, that's all that I'm trying to do is like have people on like yourself that are fucking real as fuck, like just realizing, yo,
Shout out
this
to you, man.
is what it is, and
for real,
and just trying to share
thanks
it.
for having
like,
me, because
dude, this was amazing.
I think this is a great dynamic of conversation. I also think you're someone that like can get fun answers out of anyone. I'm excited to watch more.
Oh yeah, thank you, I appreciate that. Well,
All
guys.
day, brother.
Fucking that's going to do it. Episode 35 is now in the books. Aidan, my boy, I cannot thank you enough for fucking coming out.
Thanks for having
I
me.
want to see that shit you had on your laptop after we
Yep.
fucking wrap up here. But guys, I cannot thank you enough for listening, for watching. Remember, as always, if you enjoyed this episode, please share it. That is how we grow. I love you guys, and we will see you back next fucking week.
And remember, you know it's nice outside. When
When
you walk outside, it's nice outside.
Come on, son. Love you guys. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.